My journey as a foster carer, it seemed like a natural progression for myself because my mum, when I was a child, fostered babies, and I remember the love, the warmth, and the friendliness of the babies when they came into the house, and it was just a very warm atmosphere, and it sort of in the future I thought I really want to do this. So it came to a point in the time where our daughter got to the point where she wasn't at home all the time at school. We decided to take the plunge and go for it.
Yeah, and our son was actually born extremely premature, so he was in hospital for quite a long time. So we saw quite a few other children coming and going that weren't going home to their parents, and it was always something we thought we would always do after we'd finished having our children. As I say, I think it was mainly the combination of being in hospital with our son and Mark experiencing, he was a child in a foster
In
family.
a foster care family, that's right.
It was such positive for him, and it's always something we wanted to do, just when the time was right. I think that being a foster carer is quite an interesting thing to do, and I think if a stranger turned up at your door tomorrow with an innocent child in their arms and said, this child just needs someone to love them and look after them for a few months, I think that a lot of people would find it hard to turn them away. And basically that's just what foster caring is. It's just being that person that says yes to allowing that child to come in, join your family for a few months.
That's right, yes. Myths about foster caring. A lot of people, when you first say what you do, they say to us, well, I couldn't do it really because I get too attached to children, but that's the whole point. Once you're attached to the child, it means the child can then attach to its new family when it goes on.
I think also it's the sadness. When a child leaves, it is really sad, and it does affect us quite a lot in our family. But ultimately, it's not about our sadness, it's about the happiness that child gets when they leave, and being able to see them settled in a family, moving on from us, ultimately is the reason we do it. When you have a child come into your house and you see them when they first come in and the difference from when they leave your house, that's absolutely amazing. The abilities and the things they didn't have, the experiences that we've been able to give them, and when they leave us, the difference in them is huge, and that's the reason.
Memorable moment was to be in fostering a child. A few years ago, we got an invite to a family celebration as special guests for one of the children that we used to have. Being invited to see how they developed and how they gone to be a rounded child into a lovely family was absolutely wonderful. It really was.
It was so lovely. We were guest of honour at their family celebration, and when we got there, everyone just burst into tears. And it was one of the moments in our, looking back,
We'll
that we'll
never
always
forget it.
remember. They were so grateful for everything we'd done for their child, and it was just a humbling experience.
It was, yeah.
And how long, adding on to that, how long had it been since you'd let them go to their new family till you saw them again? What kind of improvements in their life have they had?
So it was about a year after they left our home, and they went to join one of their siblings in a family, and it's quite interesting because the child was quite clingy, and wouldn't go to even the grandparents, but as soon as they saw us, even though we hadn't seen them for such a long time, they remembered us and came straight for a hug for us. So it's just really lovely. You can see that they remember you.
Very heartwarming.
For us, it's when you take a child who's probably been quite shielded and not had many experiences, and you take them maybe on holiday and they see the sea for the first time, and to watch their eyes light up. And also, we've had a lot of children where we've taught them to walk, so we've helped them take their first steps, and they're probably the most absolutely special memories.
Most special memories we've got, yes. And those sort of memories really we have with most of the children we have, which is fantastic. We can share in their lives. In our area, we have local hubs which we meet up every 2 to 3 months with other foster carers. We can talk shop, which we can't do otherwise. Social workers and our supervisor social worker also turns up. So it's a chance to get together with other foster carers. They also, a couple of times a year, have family days, which we can take our own children to. They're given a treat for the day where they go to a different place, a water sports centre or an adventure centre, They're given the day out without us, and they have a thoroughly good time.
I think also there's always, in our local authority, there's always someone on the end of a phone, and even if it's out of hours, that can be another foster carer, or it doesn't have, a social worker. We've always felt really supported, and there's such a big team around us that there's always someone to be able to call. That's quite an interesting one, because a lot of people ask how it impacts our own children when we do foster. And I think that we answer that when we go to parents' evening, because when we go to the parents' evening for our children, the first thing the teachers say to us is, your children have so much empathy, and what is it you do to make them have so much empathy? And they see the children come in and the difference that they make as well, not just us, in their lives. And it obviously impacts them in their wider experiences of their own as well. So it's nothing but positive for our children.
And I came from that background myself, as I said before, where I was brought up in that situation. And I hope it made me a more empathetic person and a more rounded person. So we can pass that to all the children we have in our family.
Biggest highlight for all of us in our family is meeting the children after they've moved on for us, and we meet up with them afterwards. And you see them settled in their family and the experiences they're able to have, and their memories they can have with us as well.
Yes.
That's ultimately absolutely fantastic.
We're very lucky. We keep in touch with probably 60% of the children that we've had, and to see them grow up through the years and be so attached to their families, it's really heartwarming to see how they become a unit over the years, and they're just as one, and it's just so natural and beautiful. It really is.
And our children love that bit as well when we
They
get to meet
enjoy
up
seeing
with
them as well again. Yes.
after time. That's absolutely brilliant.